Hello and welcome. I'm Pratap Singh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated the 6.5-kilometer long Z-Morh Tunnel in Gandarbal district of Jammu and Kashmir that will make the Sonamarg tourist resort accessible throughout the year. The Prime Minister inaugurated the 2,700 crore rupee project and inspected the tunnel as he travelled through. He interacted with project officials and also met with construction workers. The two-lane bi-directional tunnel located on the Srinagar Leh National Highway is set to significantly enhance year-round road connectivity to the Ladakh region. The construction work on the strategic infrastructure project commenced in May 2015 and was completed in 2023. The construction involved a lot of steel and concrete with support systems inside the tunnel made of shotcrete, rock bolts, wire mesh and umbrella pipe roofing. Now, these materials were chosen to ensure the tunnel stays safe and strong over time. The inauguration of the tunnel ensures now uninterrupted supply chains for military essentials and would also bring tourists all year, providing better facilities and more income opportunities for locals. Prashant Kapila joining us live now, Managing Director, Intercontinental Consultants and Technocrats Private Limited. ICT, in fact, was commissioned as the independent engineer for construction and supervision of the Z-Morh Tunnel project. Ashok Yadav, Assistant General Manager, APCO Infotech, is also joining us live. APCO Infotech, remember, is the very same company that has constructed the Z-Morh Tunnel. Major Brijesh Kumar, former DG Military Infrastructure, joins us live. Dr. Jaideep Bhattacharya, President, CDEPR, is also live with us now on the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first, to get in a perspective on what makes this tunnel unique. Prashant Kapila, tell us about how the project was conceptualized and then executed. Okay, I think we've lost Prashant Kapila there. Let me then try and also bring in another very special guest, Ashok Yadav. Ashok Yadav, what is the uniqueness of this project? Okay, I don't think we have our special guests through just yet. Let's try and please reconnect them so we can get their unique perspective on this story. But Major Brijesh Kumar, as far as this tunnel now is concerned, how important is it strategically for the army and also for helping tourism in the region?
Uday, thank you for having me on your show. See, this Z-Morh Tunnel is a link or part of a series of other major initiatives, which I'll call it strategic in nature, with regards to military infrastructure building, specifically coming down to roads construction in our border areas. We are aware of the topography of northern Himalaya and how they inhibit our communication network, both in Jammu and Kashmir in the Ladakh region, as also Arunachal Pradesh in the east. And of course, in some areas in the Himachal border and the Uttarakhand border. But first is the J&K and Leh border. Imagine trying to fight an adversary. No, we have two of them, one on the northern side, one on the western side. In an area where we are cut off from the rest of the country for 4 to 6 months in a year. And that is Leh. Leh is not reachable by road communication in the months of October, November, December, right up to February or March. There are just two axes. Coming back to the main axis, which has been Pathankot, Jammu, Srinagar, Leh, and then on to Ladakh. Now, this axis is an important one, in fact, a crucial one. With regard to defense perspective, we have three kinds of borders or adversary in the north. One on the LOC is Pakistan, northwards of Kargil, we are familiar with. The second is the AGLP in the Siachen Glacier, that's again Pakistan. And finally, the LAC against the Dragon in Ladakh. Imagine fighting in these areas, procurement in this area, movement of personnel, troops, arms, ammunition in this area without the road connectivity has been a tough one. The second aspect is infrastructure has a long gestation period, both in terms of time, resource, and secondary resource. We must admit that in the last few years, shall I say 6 to 8 years, the amount of work gone in for infrastructure improvement has been tremendous. Coming back specifically to Z-Morh Tunnel, Though Sonamarg is an important tourist area and habitation center in the Ganderbal district, northeast of Srinagar, is connected otherwise. But having a tunnel on the stretches Z-Morh makes it convenient for us to travel throughout the 12 months, throughout the year, irrespective of snow and whatever. As the name suggests, Z-Morh, there are a series of hairpin bends between the area of the, when you travel from Ganderbal to Sonamarg, that gets removed by this. But more important is the next link, that is the tunnel at Juzila, which is coming up, and hopefully it is to be get completed somewhere in the year 2026. So with that, then the connectivity from Srinagar to Ladakh and on beyond to Darbuk and DBO, Daulat Beg Oldie, should be 12 months, 24/7. So two things have happened. The distances get reduced, the travel time gets reduced, as also the effort involved in clearing the snow, roadblocks, and otherwise improved. And it has an effect which is cascading in nature, both for the military and also civilian population with regards to economy, growth, health, tourism, and what have you. It's actually a very, very win-win situation. And finally, for our viewers, basically, how do you cross those hills? See, the ball game is either you have a zigzag road going to the top of the hill or the mountain, shall we say in this case, and then return. Or the simpler way, or the easier way is to bore a tunnel. And that's what we are at it. So till recently, we had only one tunnel to actually show up, Banihal Tunnel, connecting Jammu and Srinagar. Now, with the series of tunnels coming up and the technology having been acquired and the resources being given by the government, the expertise with our engineers, it is possible. And what we are seeing is a tremendous amount of growth in terms of tunneling, infrastructure to improvement, so which has a spin-off effect all around. Strategic is the word which I call it. So Z-Morh Tunnel inauguration today is one more step in making our infrastructure tremendous, worthy, and worthwhile, which takes care of the military requirement as well as the civilian requirement or people requirement for growth and development. So to that extent, it's a phenomenal day, it's a great day, and let's celebrate it and also remind our people. It was October last month, we have a terrorist attack in that terrorist area, seeking or seeing the importance of the target per se. So we have to be vigilant and we have to progress, and that's the way we go. So that.
Yes, Dr. Jayjit Bhattacharya, quickly drawing you in here as well. What is going to be now the economic impact, the strategic, military impact of this tunnel, and how important is the execution of this project as well for the region?
I think extremely important because one of the issues that obviously comes out from what Major General Brajesh Kumar mentioned is that due to the lack of the tunnel, it's not just the military that was getting impeded, but also the civilian population. So you see the other side of the tunnel is sparsely populated because it becomes economically, viability of living there very, very limited. How do you connect to the rest of the economy? How do you sell your stuff? What you manufacture? How do you send it in an economically viable way to the larger mainland population? With this tunnel, we can expect a densification of the population on the other side of the tunnel, which also contributes back to the military security, but it also helps improve the lives of people who are already living there. Now, if you look at the direct impact, some 2,700 crores was spent on this tunnel, which has had an impact in terms of direct job creation, direct purchases that happen, and so on and so forth. Now, the maintenance of the tunnel itself will create a large number of jobs, and because of the tunnel, there will be many more economic activity that will blossom on both sides of the tunnel. If you look at the cost comparison of the tunnel, it's roughly the cost of about 8 to 9 tanks in that sense. If we can, for the viewers to understand what 2,700 crores really means. And with that cost, one is able to utilize many more military hardware, which can be poured through the tunnel as and when needed. Now, that also gives a sense of safety and security to the people living on the other side of the tunnel, that at short notice you won't have our western neighbors and eastern neighbors pouring in, and therefore, again, that contributes back to the densification of population. Now, if you look at the stream of projects that are happening in Jammu and Kashmir, I think about 48 to 50,000 crores are being spent. Of the 10 longest tunnels, 7 are in Jammu and Kashmir. That's a lot of tunnels that is being set up, and each one of them adds to the value of the other one. So we shouldn't be seeing these tunnels as in a standalone manner, but as an infrastructure which adds to the value of each other. It's basically the network effect of the tunnels which is going to play out, and all of them will have a positive impact on each other. So net, if you look at it from an economic perspective, it starts opening up the opportunities for the people in Jammu and Kashmir on both sides of the tunnel, and it also opens up opportunities for people outside of Jammu and Kashmir because they can start reaching to these locations. And obviously, what has been mentioned all over is the impact on tourism, which will go significantly up because the other side of the tunnel is extremely beautiful, and that's something that the people would like to see. Besides that, the engineering infrastructure, including the tunnel itself, are tourist attractions that many, including me, would really love to go and see. So the implications are multifold. It's going to take Jammu and Kashmir further forward. And also, in the words of the Chief Minister, there were 2 promises that our Prime Minister had made. One was to reduce Delhi ki duri, which means the distance from Delhi, which got reduced by the tunnel. And the second is Dil ki duri, which is the distance of the hearts, which also gets reduced because of the tunnel, because people can now talk to each other, meet each other more frequently, and for a longer period of time. So it has got a multiple set of effects that the tunnel is going to have.
Okay, let me in fact also quickly now take that across to Ashok Yadav as well. Ashok Yadav, let me quickly finally draw you in here now into the discussion on the uniqueness of the project and how the execution really went about. Ashok Yadav? Okay, I think we are having some technical trouble there with this connection. And let me quickly join Major General Rajesh Kumar back onto the broadcast. Major General Brajesh Kumar now, as far as of course this overall execution of the project is concerned, the timelines really being followed for these strategic projects both in Jammu and Kashmir and the Northeast really speak a lot. The conceptualization happens, the execution happens, and then the inauguration happens. We've seen this in the past 10 years, with a very fast-tracked sort of, capability and accountability and speed on ground. So the timelines really are very, very fast and are being stuck to as well. How amazing is that, Major Kumar?
It is actually important, in all strategic projects, that we work on a mission mode. And I believe that has been possible these days. We're trying to have a very joint kind of approach, getting all the stakeholders together and pushing it. In this case, obviously, there are a large number of them. The central government is one, and the central government has Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Environment. The finance gives you the money, the state government per se, the local people. The other stakeholder with regards to engineers, supply, all in the supply chain. So obviously, there is a fair amount of discipline right from the top to the bottom, which is actually important to see such projects of behemoth in terms of size, resources, to see it through. And the second is, I'm sure the people at the functional level have also been very good as to be able to motivate and rally the people around and anticipate bottlenecks and clear them. Yes, with us in India, it has not been associated in that particular manner because we've seen projects of large magnitude, especially drifting for long period of time for whatever reason. Intervention of courts, intervention of NGOs, intervention of the vested interest and the other groups, political opposition, whatever. Fortunately, in the border areas per se, The interests of the nation has been kept supreme and paramount by stakeholders. It's not easy job anyway because there are two bigger enemies over here. One is the terrain and climate. You are number two shore, and B the absence of markets and communication. It becomes very difficult. Imagine getting hold of thousands of laborers in these tough terrain where it rains and snows, altitudes are go very high without any medical comfort. Look after them, keep them motivated. Getting your plants global, keeping them going together, roadworthiness, space management, technicians. There are a huge amount of such imponderable, and I think must give credit where it is due, both at the strategic level to the political people, the military guys who are there, the state government who are there, the executing agencies which are there, and what have you. They're actually setting up new benchmarks. We've seen, the others similar huge project, the Atal Tunnel, having come up a little earlier. Later than it was the
Right.
project at in Arunachal Pradesh at Sela. So these are huge projects in difficult terrain.
Okay,
And
let me
so,
try and draw in Ashok Yadav now, if he's through with us on the broadcast. Ashok Yadav, just tell us a bit now about how this project was conceptualized and executed in record time, also the materials that have been used on ground.
Thanks for the giving chance to speak about the Sonamarg Tunnel. The location of this project is facing the major three regions that we have faced in the during construction. One is logistic arrangements. Second is adverse weather conditions, and third one is the remoteness of this project, which is harming in the quality manpower for the construction work. And even though these facility difficulties are there, we have planned in advance, and we materialize and we keep our inventory according to the requirement, ahead of the requirement, and we get achievement in the schedule plan. Sir.
Right. Ashok Yadav, also the material used. Just tell us a bit about the material used that is going to ensure the durability of the structure and also, the all-weather, nature of it.
Yes, of course, in construction, material is a major part of the concern of the life of any project. So we prefer for the best of the practice, like you can say in cement, we use Ultratech, that is the pronoun and pioneer in the cement industry. Likewise, E&M equipments, these are one of the, like we use KIF cables and Emerson SCADAs, other thing like ABB panels and truck light panels. These are the world-renowned type of the industry, renowned producers, manufacturers. So we anticipated that this is the adverse location and remoteness of this project. We always try to make a best of the requirements and best of practices and best of the market industry available in their area. So we choose the pioneers in respect of E&M construction equipments as well as construction material as well as E&M equipments.
Yes. How did you feel today when Prime Minister also praised the workers and all those who have actually, built this tunnel in record time?
Yes, sir. Definitely, we here know each and everything we have faced here every time. But when Prime Minister appraises us our work and he likes to do more in the on another project also, that boosts us and that enthusiasms our people also.
We also joined Major General J.K. Bansal, defense expert, who's also joined us now live. Major General Bansal, according to you, what is the uniqueness of this Z-Morh Tunnel project? How strategically important is it going to be for the security forces, also for tourism now with this particular Sonamarg region and the resorts there?
Good evening. The tunnel is very important. During winter there is a snow and otherwise the landslide which make it very difficult. And at the same time, the 4.5 hours time will be reduced to 45 minutes, where in all weathers one can go and reach. I remember I was in Leh about 10 years back when we were going to one of the area, and a lot of due to snow there was a lot of problems, and traffic was blocked, and there was the only movement for one side, that one day the movement will go from one side, the other day it will come from the other side. Likewise, now with the tunnel, it will be a movement all the times, and anywhere. As we were talking about the Sela tunnel, I was in that area also, in Nuranang and Sela, and going to right up to Tawang. There was a lot of landslide and snow. So these tunnels are very, very important for the movement, of course, for the general public, but mostly for the troops. This fast mobilization of troops can be done through these. All the weapons can be mobilized. So in that way, the making tunnels is a very, very important. Of course, it is a Herculean task. In 2015, it was started, and now it has been completed. But it takes a lot of, that one say tunnel was made in Uttarakhand, and there was a lot of problem while making it itself. So as was described by Mr. Ashok Yadav, that yes, they are using material and technique. Technique is also very, very important. If the proper technique is not used, or if the survey is not being done, whether the rocks are hard and can sustain the pressure or not. And there are the different types of the tunneling, which these people, they are expert in about it, how it is to be done, and how this has to be strengthened. All those things together is a really great achievement. As such, the infrastructure and border road are making, but these tunnels are adding a lot to that. I was in 1977. I was in Nurana, this Tanga Valley area, where there's the right from the Tanga Valley up to Tawang. It used to take 2-3 days to go over there. You first have a break in Sangay, and then passing through the Sela and going. Now with these tunnels, and similarly in this area also, this will fasten the movements of our troops. That's really a big achievement. Jay.
Also, Dr. Bhattacharya, this would be further encouraging to people to open local businesses in the region, for more, hotels and resorts to come up as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll have such a significant multiplier effect. As I said, that part of the state is not densely populated, and the moment you have such a resort, such a tunnel opening up, the resorts will start popping up. There'll be more people setting up their small shops, their large industries, the small workshops, and there will be a two-way economic communication that will start happening. So clearly, this will have a very, very significant effect. So also, we need to keep in mind that it not only reduces the distance between, Delhi and the other side of the tunnel, but also the speed goes up by more than double. So instead of the usual 30 kilometers per hour, you can now drive at 70 kilometers per hour. And that significantly reduces the time in which you can send things through. So if you look at it from a business perspective, you can make commitments and send things through the tunnel at a much faster time and pace than what it used to happen earlier. So that is a very important aspect from a trade and economic perspective. And all of these will significantly contribute to not just those two areas, but the entire state and the country, because now we can have the kind of tourism that other places don't offer. And instead of going to Switzerland and other places, domestic tourists can now prefer going to the locations that have got opened up. So it's going to be of very, very significant value from an economic perspective.
Okay. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. It's time to slip into a very short break.